what Trump's own people are saying about him. He's a f***ing moron. Rex Tillerson, Trump's Secretary of State.
We're lower than the world.
Lower than the world.
He tries to divide us. James Mattis, Trump's Secretary of Defense.
You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other. Very fine people on both sides.
He's an idiot. John Kelly, Trump's Chief of Staff.
They weren't laughing at me.
It's another scathing and, let's be honest, somewhat amusing piece from the Lincoln Project, a group of big-name Republican strategists and campaign veterans who are doing everything they can to tear down Donald Trump and try and make him a one-term president. They are outsiders to Trump, but people who are inside the administration are also banding together to support Joe Biden. That effort is being led by former Homeland Security official Miles Taylor. He's been going off on the president since he first came forward a couple of weeks ago.
I am telling you with every fiber of my being that some of the president's closest advisors did not think he had the mental acuity to do the actual job.
And that's not it for the Republican rebellion, not even close. More than 150 former staffers from the past 3 Republican nominees, George W. Bush, John McCain, and Mitt Romney, are picking Joe Biden over Donald Trump. Then there are the 70 national security experts who have banded together announcing their support for Joe Biden. They penned a letter saying Trump has damaged America's role as world leader, cozied up to dictators, dishonored the presidency, solicited foreign influence in elections, and more. One of those people signing on those Republican groups, our friend Chris Shays, who is with us. Why? You've come on programs like this one before and aired your complaints. This is another step for you. Why did you feel the need to sign on with these groups?
Well, I signed on to 2 groups. I signed on to the national security folks, and they had 10 reasons why, and we substantiated each one with some very clear message. The Franklin Project sometimes, to me, is going a little too far because they can end up with the opposite result. There'll be sympathy for the president. As much as people don't like this president, I mean, a number don't, they still know he's the president, and they still think somehow that a president needs to be treated nicely. My view is this. Donald Trump is almost everything my parents taught me not to be and everything we taught our daughter not to be. So just from a character standpoint, I don't think his morals are up to the job of being president.
Well, that's interesting to me because in a vacuum, I suspect you would agree with more of Trump's policy aims than not. Things like lower taxes, conservatives on the court.
Well, let me just say, first off, I do think that we need to have borders that are for real. And I think people should be allowed to come here. I would be allowing everyone who's here, who's been here a while, to have the opportunity to be able to live here but not be citizens.
But so many Republicans seem to have made something of a Faustian bargain in their support for Donald Trump. They'll put up with the garbage because they like what they're getting as a result with the policies.
You're being kind.
I am, but I'm wondering why you didn't sign on for that.
Well, first off, there were 3 major Republicans who gently criticized him, 2 senators and Mark Sanford, a congressman. And Donald Trump did what he has the capability to do, to defeat them. He can't elect people, but he can defeat them. So he's tolerated no criticism whatsoever. That is the most unhealthy thing you can do in a party. You want honest debate, and then in the end you find common ground, at least within your own party, but he won't tolerate it.
I can remember back to 1980, there was a large group of Reagan Democrats who crossed the aisle to vote for Ronald Reagan. We saw something of that in 2016 also. There were Trump Democrats who certainly voted for President Trump. Do you think that's possible in today's Republican Party? Do you think there could be enough Biden Republicans out there?
Well, first off, I don't know what the Republican Party stands for now because it's the Donald Trump Party. We don't even have a platform as Republicans. It's whatever Donald Trump wants to do. So, I mean, my response to you is that I don't know how the Republican Party recuperates. And someone made an interesting analogy. They said, after Germany was defeated, the Vichy government in France, everybody who had signed on to the Vichy government, which cooperated with the Germans, acted like they never, were involved. I'm going to be fascinated to see what Republicans do.
It will be fascinating. You won 20 or 21 consecutive elections in the 4th district, or 10 or 11 consecutive.
I've been a Republican for 34 years as an elected official, and I ran as a Republican.
Could you win a Republican primary today?
I would love to have tried it back in my district and seen, but no, the answer is no. Very hard to win a Republican primary because Republicans they'd rather lose an election than have someone who's willing to speak out against Donald Trump. It's obscene, frankly, what's happening.
You mentioned Trump's ability to influence Republican elected officials. He can't get them elected, but he can get them unelected.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
So therefore, no one's going to criticize him.
But is that Trump's power, or is that the GOP voter right now? I mean, you said you're not sure what the party stands for. Do you know what Republican voters want? I mean, is it all in the cult of personality of Donald Trump, or?
Well, celebrities rule the day in American politics. If The Rock ran for president, he would have a whole group of people who would come and hear him speak and come and support him. And yeah, so celebrity politics is what's the lead now. Let me just back up and say something. I not only don't want Donald Trump to win, I want Joe Biden to win. I view his 47 years of success and failures as a great basis for what he's learned. I think he is a wise person, and I think he'll do a great job. And the thing I love most is that he will reach out to Republicans. In his speech, if you listen to it, and it's true, that's who he is, he will reach out to the people who even didn't vote for him.
Got about 30 seconds left in the segment. What would it take for the Republican Party after this election to do a deep reassessment of itself? Would it take Trump losing in a landslide? Would it take Republicans down the ticket losing?
Trump would have to lose in a landslide for Republicans to reassess.
I mean, they tried that after 2012, and the guy who wrote the report on the reassessment wound up as Trump's chief of staff.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much. You're going to be part of our coverage tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern as we come back for the final night of the Republican National Convention. Thanks so much, and we'll see you a little bit later this evening. Up next, ABC News political director Rick Klein joins us for the very latest on the Postal Service scandal, whether or not lawmakers will ever approve more relief for the tens of millions of Americans who are out of work, and other stories that frankly aren't getting the attention they deserve.